Like I don't know why it does it one way. It's got to be something I'm doing. That's how computers work. But I hate when I go live and I'm pushing my lips together or drinking something. So unflattering. Okay, who cares? Here we go. Here comes everyone. Good morning. I'm Judge Person. I welcome everybody to court. I'm going to be a little bit repetitive as I allow people's technology to catch up, but I do want to welcome everyone to court today. I have two dockets working, and I'll be working them both. One is the regular docket where I'm talking to folks about their cases or their sentences. The other is a pretrial docket, which is defined as a contested docket. As such, you have been set for this hearing as a convenience. You have an option to come on in and see us live and wait in line. Most people do find it's helpful to not have to come and wait in line. And so we'll just keep doing that as long as it works. It's like Mr. Dangler is in our lobby. So I do welcome everybody to court. And I guess I say I'm going to be a little bit repetitive, just knowing that everybody wasn't all connected at the beginning. And I still have some folks, their systems might not connect. So I'll keep working with that. So welcome to court. This is the Temple Municipal Court. A municipal court is different from other types of courts in that they are our community courts, if you will, but they are also cases that hear courts that hear Class C offenses. The Class C offense is different from other types of offense by the sheer fact that if you are found guilty, you are normally not sentenced to jail time. Now, people can get warrants and they can be subject to being arrested for failing to come to court or failing to complete their court order. And I'm highlighting that because when you're sentenced, there is a court order with deadlines. And if you miss those deadlines, you're subject to warrant and arrest. So I want to be real clear with you that we can, if we work on a sentence or we work on a solution to a sentence that may not be working particularly well, that may be off track for a variety of reasons, I'm looking to reimpose deadlines. So be sure that you know what's happening. And if you don't know, ask questions because it is your case. I want to let you know that when you're given a ticket or issued a citation, those are all methods that we have under the law for accusing someone. That is what a ticket is, an accusation. When you give a plea, you're giving an answer or response to that accusation. A summons or a ticket, both are accusations. A plea is an answer to that accusation. It's almost as if the citation or the summons proposes a question. And when you give a plea, you are giving your response. Okay. So there are three options for pleading: guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Guilty means I did this. Not guilty means I'm contesting this. No contest means I'm not saying yes or no, I'm not contesting it. If you plead guilty, I'm moving forward with sentencing. If you plead no contest, I am moving forward with sentencing without an admission or a denial on the offense. If you plead not guilty, you're maintaining that innocence that the law already presumes, but the state needs to be put on notice that they will be required to prove their case at trial. And as such, that triggers a different process, okay, for you, in part because the state then has certain rights and duties, and you have certain rights and duties. So I'm hearing both dockets right now. Today on the pretrial docket where you've pleaded not guilty, that's a meeting with the prosecutor. Our prosecutor is Ryan Matson. Mr. Matson is not my employee, he's the city employee, but he is the equivalent of a district attorney over at county. And so as such, he's not your attorney. He represents the party who's filed the offense. Okay, so just be aware of who he is. Mr. Matson, can you unmute and introduce yourself, please, to the court at large?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Thank you. So if you're meeting with him today, just keep in mind that he can't give you legal advice. In fact, if you want legal advice and your plea has not yet been processed or accepted or finalized by the court, and you're trying to talk to an attorney first, you just say, Judge, I need time. And that will trigger a delay, okay, because I need to give you time to do that. We don't court appoint counsel in Class C courts. I'm not going to give you the hour-long lecture about what that's about, but I'll tell you that that's the law. The other thing but I will delay your case, and it doesn't mean that you have to hire someone. It means you need time to talk to someone, and that is not a problem. If you plead guilty or no contest, I'm moving forward with sentencing. Now, the general rule is that then the item goes on your record. I find you guilty, the item goes on your record, and you pay those fines and costs. Let me back into what I just said and tell you where the exceptions are so that you know how things move through a court. With payment of fines and costs, I need solid, realistic financial information to make adjustments if adjustments are being requested. And I can do that if the information is credible, okay? And I look at things like whether there should be reductions, whether there should be community service. In sentencing, you could be subjected to a higher fine, but we generally don't do that in Class C courts. We have what are called window fines. If you call a clerk, you get a window fine. If you say, how much is this ticket? They tell you that window fine. There's a balance there in terms of how we approach that issue. And courts in Class C settings give you a fine that's preset by the judge of the court. So if you called and got that number, you got a preset number because the law says I should do that so that you know what to do to take care of it if that's what you're doing, you know. And there are lots of people who just do that, right? And we don't need long lines to make it harder for people. Okay, so backing into, then it goes on your record. There are still 4 ways to gain a dismissal. Even if you've pled guilty or no contest, there's still 4 ways to gain a dismissal. They are called compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Now, all this information is on the website, but let me just give a brief, quick overview, and then we're going to rock and roll here because I know that people are probably starting to get a little bored hearing me. Okay, so compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. Those are things like bald tires, now you fixed it, a broken headlight, now you fixed it. You were cited for that thing, but you fixed it. You're on time to court, you prove that it's fixed, you pay a $10 fee, you get a dismissal, the whole balance goes away and it's not on your record. So that's an example of a compliance dismissal. There are about 14 of those in the law books. I'm not going to list them all and tell you how they work. What the law says is if the information is presented to the judge will dismiss. Now, that means, in my view, and I think there's agreement widely on this, I look and see if it's a possibility to get you to that dismissal. If I don't have what I need, but it looks like maybe we could get there, I'll start quizzing you about it to see if I can get you to that dismissal. However, you're welcome to ask, and it is your case. And I would expect anyone to do that if they had questions. If it's a question I can't answer because I can't give legal advice, I'll let you know. But it's your case, and you can ask and advocate for yourself. Okay. So ask me if you're wondering, and I know that I'm also looking. Okay. So I like to set expectations. 2, moving violations can be dismissed through a driver safety course process on a plea of guilty or no contest. If you're on time, you have the proper license, you haven't been in the previous 12 months for purposes of getting a ticket dismissed, and you're on time to court. Again, that's a lot of things, and each one has its own little details about what that means. I'll be looking to see if you might be qualified and pushing a little bit. One of the reasons that I do that is sometimes people don't know, but also it's a savings and it keeps it off your record. So let me just explain that because it's a really good time to just explain one more thing that applies to every case. So when you call the clerk and say, what is that window fine? The clerk says fines and costs total this amount. But those are 2 numbers, okay? The fines are set by the judge of the court right here. The costs are set by the Texas legislature. I will point to Austin for that one. These are mandatory. These I have control over. Okay. If you're on time and you qualify and you want to do the driving safety course program, you pay the court cost. This fine over here, it just goes on hold. Okay. If you turn in the right record and the right course on time, your ticket is dismissed. There's no moving violation on your record. The fine gets waived, so you don't pay it. Yes, you pay for the court costs, the record, and the course. However, that way of going about it is cheaper than this whole amount. The reason for that is because the legislature actually believes, and I think there's plenty of metrics to prove this, that we drive a little bit better after we take that course, that it's worth it. Texas is the #1 state for death and dismemberment on the roadways. We have been for 2 decades minimum. If you are 25 and under, you're in the super group, not a #1 we want. Okay. So we have an incentivized program, and it's a take nothing for the city, but it's worth it for our roads. It's worth it because we all drive together. Okay. So I'll be looking to see if you might be qualified. And if it looks like you want to do it and we can get there, we'll work on that. Okay. So that's that one. The third one is a little bit different because so far I've been telling you I'm going to look and push. Okay. The third one is the opposite. You must request it. A deferred disposition. Now I'm letting someone in quite late, but they won't know anything I just said. So, okay. So a deferred disposition, the way that that works, deferred means delay. Disposition means to make final. I accept your plea. I grant your request, perhaps. If I grant it, then I don't find you guilty at that point. I put a court order in place. If you follow the court order and do what it says in writing, you get a dismissal of your case. That could mean, that's going to mean you solve the payment of fines and costs somehow. That's going to mean no tickets, no warrants, no failing to come to court. That's going to mean keep your address current. But those are all simple things. There also might be a course, a record, a file of some kind that you need to bring to the court on a date specific or earlier, like proof of insurance, for example, or a license, for example, or a class. If you do your deferred and get it done properly, you get a dismissal of the offense. There's a record of that deferred, but it results in a dismissal. Okay. We're here and when you get a ticket, there's a record of that stop. That's already happened. Okay. So if you want a deferred, you request it at the time that you enter a plea, guilty or no contest. I'd like a deferred. It's that simple. Okay. So you must advocate that for yourself. I cannot advocate that for you. The city's prosecutor may not advocate that for you. However, if you're meeting with the prosecutor and you and the prosecutor come to an agreement for a deferral, I will sometimes have that happen too. That's not necessarily going to be offered in that setting. Okay. And I do not and cannot tell the prosecutor what cases he or she sometimes should accept and pursue. That is, they have discretion, but they can propose an agreement to me on a case, and I usually will follow that agreement. So that sometimes happens at this pretrial level. Okay, so what I want to tell you too is if you request a deferred, I can also say, no, I'm not granting it. Okay, but in a Class C court, you can make a request of a judge directly. And if you've ever watched a proceeding in another type of court, you must go through the prosecutor in Class B or greater courts. There's about 1% of our cases that you have to go through the prosecutor for. So you're able to advocate and ask, guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred, is how that works. Okay, so that's the third one. The fourth one looks similar. It's called teen court. Teen court looks like a deferred, but it works a little bit differently. In one, I can ask you if you want to do it, if it looks like you might be qualified. And two, it's for students. I'll go into that where I have students on the docket. I'm not sure if I do today. Okay, that's the 101. Mr. Matson, let's begin with you. Renee Salvo was first to log in on your docket. Renee Salvo, can you unmute and just let me know that your audio is working?
Yes, Your Honor. My name is
Perfect.
Renee Salvo. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Perfect, thank you. I will move you over to what is called a breakout room, where you're meeting with Mr. Matson, and y'all will talk about things if you want to. You're not required to discuss the facts of the case unless you choose to. However, this is an opportunity to plea bargain if it's possible. And
Okay.
if the case is not resolved by this pretrial, that's not a problem. But we're then moving the case, the next setting is here in the court, because now we're moving toward trial, and trials take place in the court. So we start with a pretrial here to do what are called pretrial matters, and we go from there. So if it's not resolved, that's not an issue. We're just sorting out what's moving to resolution and what is not.
Understood.
All right, I'm moving you over to that room. Mr. Matson, also inviting you. And let me pull that file. And while I'm doing that, my next person is going to be Michelle Rodriguez. And Michelle Rodriguez, if you will unmute and tell me how you're doing today while I'm pulling files, that would be great.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm very well. Thank you for asking. And how are you doing?
Good. I'm doing good this morning.
Okay, great. Now let me get your file pulled. Okay, great. Where we are, we have warrants in your cases. They are
Yes.
for what appears to be just, we did not hear from you. These are 2020 cases. We now have heard from you. I've got your written information. Thank you. And let me just review that out loud so that I can tell you where I think we are and make sure we're on the same sheet of music. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. These all originate from a stop November 3rd of 2020. And the stop was probably originally a speeding stop. And the speeding charge, hold on, is a 71 and a 60. And the fines and costs now, just due to the passage of time and collection activities, is at $499.20. And I did receive a no contest plea on that charge. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. During that stop, also, a citation was written for no insurance. And I did receive a no contest plea. The fines and costs are $430.30. Is no contest your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then at that time, there was also a citation written for open container to the driver. And I did receive a no contest plea and a request for a deferred disposition, and a couple other requests I'll review in just a moment. Is it a no contest request for deferred at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, then there was also a request for community service, and I'm looking at your financial disclosure. Give me just a quick moment.
Okay.
Okay, at this time, the court will find you indigent and order community service on all your cases.
Okay.
Let me talk to you a moment about the deferred request. Just why specifically that one?
Right now I'm just going through a hard time financially. I did, lose I lost my brother last year. So I've been helping my mom, take care of my family back in Arizona because that's where I'm from originally. And then also, I am on probation right now, so I am, taking care of that, and that's where most of my money is going to. And so, I'm sorry.
I did not see your probation fees listed. Are those getting
Yes,
paid, right? Are
yes,
those getting?
yes.
Okay,
I'm current on that too.
great.
And
What
then
are
I will
those?
be getting off probation in March.
Okay, okay, so you're basically done. Oh, I do see your fees, yeah. Okay, is that here with Bell County?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I will grant your deferred. I see the reason for it now, the request. You're trying to keep things tidy. Okay,
Yes.
right, so I will grant deferred on the open container charge.
Okay.
And the there'll be several orders, okay? The two that you're gonna pay the most attention to are your community service order, which is how you're gonna pay your fines and costs. And then your deferred order, which is how you're gonna gain that dismissal, okay?
Okay.
So on the whole number of community service, it turns into 88 hours for all three cases. Part of that 88 that relates to your open container, that's your biggest one. That one is 41 hours.
Okay.
Sorry, I need to make some notes so I don't confuse clerks and make it harder for everyone. The deferred will last until November 31st. I'm sorry, November 13th. I do want, no, I'm sorry, you're taking courses for probation. Is that right? Or you maybe
I'm
done?
I'm completed with everything that I have to do.
Okay. All right. So, hang on just a moment.
Okay.
One second. So the order, it's a weird thing.
I'm not able to hear you.
I know, because I'm talking to a clerk.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And then on her order, and then they all wind up. Yeah, no, I mean, you're like, right. Okay, so. And then on the deferred order. Okay, so I was just explaining to the clerk how I wanted everything to look to get things.
Okay.
Here getting everything ready for all of y'all so that we can do this fast. Y'all aren't
Okay.
here hours and hours, but also so that when you come in to sign your paperwork, it's ready. I've already reviewed it, and that way you can have it when you get here, as opposed to rushing everything. I mean, this is actually a very convenient format for us. So, Ms. Rodriguez, let me explain what's happening and what my expectation of you is. I will find you guilty on the speeding and the insurance charges. I will grant your deferred request on the open container charge. The deferred on that one will run until November 13th. During that time, as long as you don't reoffend and you get your community service turned in on time, make sure we have your current address, then I dismiss that charge in November. Okay. What I need from you today, there's really one thing, and that's to come to the court to sign for your paperwork and pick up your copies. What time can we look for you?
I get off of work at 4, so I can be there around 4:20, 4:30.
4:30 is fine. Now, what you're going to be signing when you get here is your portion signing area of the deferred, showing that you made that request. I'll already have signed it, so you'll get a copy of it. Okay. You'll sign one form for your community service that just tells you that there's no coverage if you're injured. There's no privacy when you're out doing community service. We will give you a list of places where you can do the community service. That list is already pre-approved. If you leave the list, there's a process. It's got a deadline of 2 weeks from today to get any other type of provider pre-approved. All providers must be a nonprofit and must be approved by the court. So there's a pre-approved list or a way to get something approved if it meets the qualifications. Then there'll be a timesheet to keep track of your hours. There'll be instructions for how to do it. There'll be that list of places to start as a starter list, what I call the starter list. Okay. And so you're just coming to the clerk's window. It takes you about 5 minutes once you get here. You'll get copies of everything you need. And then really your marching order is to get those community service hours turned in. Those hours are all due by 9/11. Okay. So
Okay.
you've got 2 months. One thing you need to be aware of is the community service that is done for probation. They have a rule that you can't double dip your hours, mine and yours. The provider they use is acceptable because it's like either county or the city. And I think they're even maybe on our list. Just if you're going for us, make sure you sign in on the sheet that's for us or that you're with the provider that is for us. If you try to turn in those hours over there, they get, it's not like they get mad, but they reject them. Okay. So just be aware, they don't want you to double use those.
Okay.
Because of the interlock device, I just feel like you're probably doing enough coursework and classes that I'm not ordering the class. I know what that entails. So I'm not really interested, and you're indigent. I'm not going to try to push for you to do it another class. Okay. But you just have to stay off the radar of everything and get your hours done. So it's really 2 signatures, and then you get copies, and then you go do your part. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We will see you around 4:30. Do you have any questions?
So as far as the other 2, do I have to pay those?
No, you have 88 hours that covers all 3 cases.
Oh, okay. I got you now.
It's 41, sorry, on the deferral. And then it's like 22 and 23 on the other.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. Oh, and you won't be arrested coming to court to make a resolution to solve the case. Okay.
Okay.
So don't be scared. But once we get your signature, I can recall your warrants.
Okay. Okay. So I'm free to go now.
You are. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mr. Matson, I know you were talking with Renee Salvo, and if we could get an update, that would be great.
Yes, Your Honor. We are going to continue the insurance and registration charges to final pretrial for the time being.
Okay.
Those cases should be resolved before that date.
Okay. That date is August 23rd at 1:00. And Mr. Salvo, if you will understand just one really important thing, that is that only the judge takes the case off the docket. So if you think it's off the docket, call anyway and make sure that it's been removed from the docket the morning of that setting. And if it's still pending, it means I'm looking for something. I didn't get what I needed to remove it. Come on in, we'll get it sorted out.
Understood.
Yes, August 23rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, August 23rd at 1:00. And then Mr. Matson on the speeding charge, where are we?
Your Honor, the speeding charge is going to be placed on deferral.
Okay.
Terms of that are going to be 120 days with a 6-hour driver safety course due by the 60th day. And Mr. Salvo would like to make payment in installments of $85 in the first month, $85 in the second month, and $84 in the third month.
Okay. I can follow that and I can get that done with him. What I would ask is, Mr. Salvo, is that your agreement at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Stay with me. I'm going to talk to you about those payment dates to make sure we're on the same page. But I'm going to move the prosecutor forward to talk to Roberto Roberts.
Sure.
Oh, sorry, Rojas. Excuse me.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate it.
Yes. Mr. Rojas, can you unmute?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. I'll move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Salvo, let me check in with you about those payment dates, okay? So the
All right.
first, we said the first 30 days, is that right?
Correct.
That $85 then would be on August 14th. Will that date work for you?
Can we make it the 24th? Is that possible? I get paid on the 10th and the 24th.
Sure. Is it always the 10th and the 24th?
It is.
Okay, that's easy then. August 24th. And then when we look at September, it would be September 24th, which is a Sunday. So let's make it the 25th.
Okay, perfect.
And then in October, we're doing the same thing. The 24th is a Tuesday. Will that work?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, I'm going to have a clerk get this ready for us for my signature. And then my question is, are you in Austin or are you in this Temple area?
I am in Austin.
Okay, so we can email this to you.
That would be wonderful.
But you've got to print it, sign it, and email it back today. Is that going to work out?
That's fine. I can make that work.
Okay, perfect. Well, the email that we used to set this meeting up and that we emailed you the link to the meeting, is that email still good?
Is it reneesalvo77@gmail?
Give me a minute. That's going to take a minute. I was hoping you knew how you logged in today.
I'm sorry, I have multiple emails, so I can't recall which one was used.
Okay, yes, that's correct. We just have to go through a couple of screens to get there. Yeah, that
Sure.
works fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Our Salvo 77.
Let's do reneesalvo77@gmail.com because I'm having some issues with the other ones. So.
Renee Salvo
77@gmail. Yeah,
at Gmail.
exactly.
Okay, we'll send it there.
I appreciate it.
We'll send information for how to find a course. You'll sign your deferral and that payment structure will be in there as well as your end date for your deferral. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you. If you have questions, you can make payment online or by phone with the clerk. You can send
Excellent.
checks. You can send checks. I discourage cash or money orders because if they get lost, you've got nothing to fall back on.
Sure.
But we do take it all. It's just a question of how. I suggest paying online or by phone. If you need or have questions about that or about anything to do with the order, can email or call the clerk. If they tell you to put something in writing, then that means I need to act on it, etc. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
And I do apologize for not for missing my first court dates. I didn't realize that I had them. Like I said, I was having issues with those emails and I didn't get any notifications. So.
Well, I'm glad we got it to work out.
I'm glad we got it straightened out. So I appreciate it.
Me too. Don't forget about those other two cases. Okay.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I have a couple of people that I wasn't able to identify at the beginning. One's called Bobby's Phone. Can you tell me, just unmute and tell me your full name?
Kyle Alexander White.
Gotcha. I'm going to change the name on the screen, but it's only for this meeting. I had Cindy Southern. Can you unmute and tell me your full name?
Yes, Your Honor. Cindy Southern.
Okay. Could we have another name, perhaps?
My middle name, Cindy Jean Southern.
I was thinking, could we have a different last name?
Oh, on my driver's license, it has my maiden name, Your Honor, Cindy Fuller Southern.
Okay. Hold on just a moment. Okay, she's having a follow-up with the prosecutor today that did not get put on the docket. It's not listed, but it's, the notes are in there. Okay, Miss Southern, you're here for the prosecutor, and I'll make sure he's made aware of that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. There was another person who just had an identification from a device. Let me see if that's still the case. Samsung SM. Can you let me know your name, please? You'll have to unmute so that I can hear you.
And it's me, Barry Johnston.
Thank you, Barry Johnston. Great, I've got you down.
Thank you.
I had a telephone call person as well. Telephone caller 254, several numbers in between, and then 323. Can you tell me who you are? And unmute. Unmute first.
Hello,
Yes, hi, what is your name?
good morning, Your Honor. My name's Lynn Guthrie. Is that number, was you saying my phone number?
I would think so, since you're answering. So great. I'll be with you soon.
Oh, okay, so,
Just keep listening. I'll call your name out here in a little bit. I've got a few people ahead of you. Okay, so I'm going to move forward then with Courtney Campbell. Courtney Campbell, can you unmute and tell me how you're doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. We had a community service order. It was quite a number of cases, as you recall, with 107 hours that were due May 23rd. And I believe that was like, let me look, there's 5 cases. We didn't get the community service. Is it something that we did get your email about a month later that said you wanted to keep doing the community service. Let me ask you, where are you doing the work?
I walked to all the churches in City Hall, but City Hall told me they only do community service for their call. Their I don't know the word for it, for their offenders. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, I just didn't, just that last part. What's the name of the place?
City Hall.
In Nolanville?
Yes, ma'am. They only grant community service for their offenders.
Let me see. Did you send us anything in writing about it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so the way that we're going to want to do that is for you to, I can send you the form that you take to them, and you and they fill it out together and you send it back to us. And I can give you a new set of deadlines to get that turned in. And then if I approve it, and it sounds like I might, but I probably need to see this one in writing. But it sounds like it might work out. The main thing I'm looking for is nonprofit, that is up to date nonprofit. And, then you'll get it to us filled out. I'll either say, yeah, that's going to work, or no, that's not going to work. If it doesn't work on your deadline or before, turn anything in that you have, or write me a letter and tell me everything you've tried to do. Either turn something in or tell me what you tried to do. but let's try getting it done. Do you think that's best?
Yes, ma'am, appreciate it.
I do too. So the new time limit to get that new place approved is going to be called a pre-approval. And that pre-approval date is going to be August 27th. And then your deadline for all the hours is going to be September 11th. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. May I
Okay.
ask you something?
Yeah.
Is there any way you could waive some of the warrant fees?
So they don't waive, they just go into community service. You're not paying them. You're working them off.
Oh,
And
okay.
I've already given you triple credit up front on those
Okay.
hours. So the warrant fees themselves, you're probably doing about 2 hours of community service on just those fees. And then all the other fees combined together, yeah, it's a lot of money, but I did triple credit. I can do a reduction of your hours. We have a community service sheet. Thank you. Let's see, that's McBride. So I'm looking for Courtney Campbell. And I will reduce them down. Here we go. That's okay. I will do a reduction, okay, to make this a little more manageable. Let's reduce to 60 hours. And just remember that place you found sounds like it might work. And just, I need to know what it is. And the form we're going to send you, just take it to them and y'all fill it out. Now, my question is, how am I getting this to you? Am I emailing it? Can you print it?
No, I can't print. I can come up there Monday on the bus.
Okay. We can mail it to you.
Oh, that'd be great.
Let's mail it to you. I
Thanks
have an address on Avenue H there in Nolanville. Is that still right?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
We'll use that, we'll use that. I don't think you should need to take the bus. We can send it to you. But if you don't receive it in the next, say, 5 days, call and check on it. Okay? All right.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do I
Yes.
have any warrants?
Sorry? No, you don't. Not active. No, you don't have
Okay.
active warrants.
Because a lot of places won't let me do community service without ID. So I'm
Yes.
having a hard time to get my ID.
Okay, I don't have active warrants for you and have not had active warrants for you
Okay.
since we started this process back in when we
November?
met.
Well,
We met back in March. So I haven't had active warrants.
thank you.
Yes. Do you have more questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
If
you
you
so
want,
much.
yes, Ms. Kimball, if you wind up with questions, you can call or email a clerk, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I can go?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Well, if he has a phone, he can call. Just one moment, folks. Yeah, we're not. Well, she can call him back or email. moving forward. I'm still trying to get Rojas. There we go. Mr. Rojas, thank you. Mr. Matson, where are we?
I'm on unmute.
Yes.
Your Honor, Mr. Rojas and I have reached agreement on terms of deferral.
Okay,
The terms of that are going to be 120 days with an alcohol awareness course by day 60. And then he has requested that the payment of the fine be split up into monthly installments. The first month, $99, the second month, $99, and the third month, $98.
on the course, is that an alcohol awareness class?
It is, Your Honor.
And how many hours?
I believe it's 8 is the,
Yeah, there's a statutory requirement of, I believe it is 8. And I like to stick to that requirement just for the simple fact that if the person doesn't do it, we're required to get it even if we convict. And they start getting real confused when they got. So what happens is if we do too few, then they get convicted because they didn't do it. They get a suspension on their license because they now didn't turn it in. They come in and they turn in the original one. It doesn't work and it just creates a lot of confusion. So Mr. Rojas, what I'm letting you know is I will follow the request and agreement that y'all have come to, and I will sign it. It will say that you, from now until November 13th, you're on a deferred. The deferred means good behavior, no warrants, no nothing. Keep your address current. Don't fail to come to court when you have court dates. One court date you have is to turn in your course on time. We will send you course information. The expectation is a completion of 8 hours of alcohol-related coursework by. Hold on one second. Let me check one thing. I just want to make sure I've got this right on the cheat note. Because I believe you've got alcohol-related community service as well. Hold on. On our alcohol cases, it's always 8 hours and 8 hours, right? I believe it's 8 to 12 plus. Hold on one second. Let me just check. It's just been a little while. Okay. No, this is wrong. Okay, here we go. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Where it is a public intoxication, a condition of deferral. That's from minor. He is not. Okay, it's only mandatory. The community service hours are not mandatory for an adult. Okay, we're good. 8 hours of alcohol related community. I just did not want to get this crosswise. And I just had a lot of confusion on one deferral the other day. So alcohol awareness class, we will send you a way to find that, information about how to find that. But you have to find it and do it. So we'll give you like a prompting and a due date of 9/11 for those 8 hours. Now the $99, let's just talk about dates. The first one, can that be paid by August 14th?
Yes.
Okay. And then the second one, can that be paid by September 14th?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then the final one, can that be paid by October 16th?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If I email you this order, can you print it, sign it, and email it back, or do you need to come by the court?
Actually, I'm reside in San Antonio, Texas.
I understand. That's why I'm asking. Can you print it, sign it, and email it back to
I
me?
have I cannot print, but I can I have PDF on in my system.
Do you have it? Can you apply your legal signature to this document and get it to me today?
I believe so. If not, I'm gonna have to run out all the way to the court.
Well, I would think that you could send it someplace and print it somewhere before you would drive 3 hours up here.
Okay.
There are places in San Antonio that print.
Okay, then we'll do that.
Because I do need to get a signature today.
Okay.
Okay. We'll
What's
email
the
it.
latest time I can do that, man?
Okay. So we'll send that to you here shortly. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. We'll send that over to you. Do you have any further questions?
Yes, Runner. You said is community services involved?
No, you have 3 payments and a course.
The course, okay. All right, that resolved my question.
Okay, it'll be in the email too. It'll be on the order. It'll be written down.
Okay,
I certainly am not going to hold you to something that is not written.
okay. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right. I guess my other question is the email that we use to send you the meeting link today. Can we use that email?
Yes, Ron.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate that. You have a nice
Yes, thank you.
day. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Matson, I'll be moving you forward with Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones, can you unmute so that we can make sure the audio works?
I'm here.
Great. I'll move you over to that meeting. And I would ask if Sam Dangler can unmute, tell me how you're doing. Mr. Dangler, I'm sending unmute requests, but so far not hearing you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
How are you today?
I'm okay.
Okay. There is an assault by contact charge. Give me one moment. I need to check in with the clerk about this one.
All right, ma'am.
Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just checking in with the clerk. Thank you. Okay. All right. The fines and costs are $296. Let me look and see. I'm not completely clear whether I have you having checked off on a no contest plea, but I have a note from a clerk that maybe that was they weren't sure if that was your intention. So let me ask, is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am. And yeah, I think it would only be fair to let you know that I was accused publicly of theft and I did not steal anything. And when the officer came after they made a big process out of it, the officer came and checked the video and he saw that I had paid for everything. Also, I had 3 receipts, which the manager refused to look at. And he accused me in the store publicly and he slandered me. And I only feel that it's not fair that I have to pay a large fine or something for not stealing and then be banned from the store. I went back in a later date to pay my payment, and I was under the impression that that was not in effect because I had been proven that I hadn't taken anything from the store, and it was two biscuits for 66 cents. And when they saw the video, I believe that they couldn't ban me from the store. So they did ban me from the store. And I have paid my bill. So I paid my bill. I think I owe them 10 cents still. And what the issue is now is that I'm in a double jeopardy state because they want me to pay the fine and they want me to be banned from the store for not stealing something.
Okay. So you've brought up a lot of concerns. Now let me speak with you. Okay.
All right.
So I've heard them. Let me tell you that the issues with the store, I don't address those here. That really has to do with that store and their policies. So I have no way to unban you or deal with the banning. I do recognize that stores also send people civil claims information when they accuse someone of theft. They send civil claims information where they let you know that they feel that you are indebted to them for a certain amount. That does not come to this court. That is not related to this court. And I don't have a theft charge here now for you pending. Did we? I don't think that was filed here. I don't know if it got filed in a different type of court, but here at my court, the only charge that I have, and I don't, is an assault by contact charge. And I have a plea on file from you in writing for no contest to that charge. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. And if you don't mind, I'd like to just mention something. Okay. Once I was the manager, I was stopped in the store. The manager put his foot under the front of the wheel so that I would deliberately try to see if he could get me to run over him on foot. I didn't do that. I got off and I moved him out of the, I touched him on the shoulder and I moved him out of the way. And I explained to him, I said, I don't understand why it is that, that you can be banned from a store for not committing a crime. And it's going to carry on. I think it's unfair. I think it's double jeopardy. And I think he was being very prejudicial against me.
The double jeopardy is what we call a term of art. It's a legal term that means that you've been convicted of an offense and then they're trying you for the exact same not related offense, the exact same offense, and you're being tried for the same offense. So I don't see a double jeopardy issue with this case. Again, I think that the things you're trying to address with me are related to the relationship with the store itself. And stores are not governmental entities. They have their own policies, and I do not control their policies. The only thing I get to address is the assault by contact. And with a no contest plea, what you would be saying is, I'm not admitting it, I'm not denying it, I want to move forward with sentencing. And then I would be looking at community service as a form of payment. And I would be talking to you more about the disability that you've expressed in your paperwork to see if we can get the community service done or not.
All right, ma'am. I would appreciate that very much. And I am currently offering 20 hours a week at the Christian Outreach Center. And
Okay.
I just paint, and I do that on my own. I have been ordered to do that. This is something that I do on my own. And also, I just finished painting out Feed My Sheep, the main facility there. So I'm into community service, and I'm helping the public. I'm not a threat to anyone. And I'm doing the best that I can. I'm an older senior, but yet I have all my tools, and I'm trying to make things go. And I get my little retirement, and I'm doing, I think, my part to make it a better place here.
Okay, so let me just go into sentencing. At this time, and I'm hearing some different things from you, I'm going to also, or if you will, defer this case for a 6-month period if you wish. That would be from now until January 9th. And at the end of time, if you don't get another charge, then you would get a dismissal of this charge. In payment, you would do 15 hours of community service. You said you already go to Feed My Sheep. They're on my list, so you can go there and do it. You'll just be documenting these particular hours and turning them in for the case. And then no more law enforcement contact. The case gets dismissed. You just have to sign saying you want to do that. Is that your request? And do you agree?
Yes, ma'am. That would be fine. The only thing that I would like to ask the court is that if I do more community service, could I please do it at the place that I'm staying? That I'm working at 20 hours a week already. And that would
I don't know the place.
The Christian.
You just have to get it pre-approved.
Okay.
So the forms, you're in my lobby. You're going to go to the clerk here in about 3 minutes. They're going to give you the information to sign off on. And there'll be a deadline of getting that place pre-approved by August 27th. Okay.
Okay. And I'm really a little bit ignorant about how to go about all these processes. So, and the government's had me on tramadol for 20 years. So it's taken its toll on me mentally. So I would like the court to please understand that I don't deliberately do things intentionally to get around completing what's asked of me. But I'm a little bit challenged at this point because of the fact that I've been on that drug for 20 years, and now people are having serious issues with it. It's synthetic heroin is what it is.
So again, the case will be deferred until January 9th. No any more offenses, okay? And then the community service the location needs to be pre-approved by August 27th. That's going to be written down for you. And then your final hours, are due on 9/11. Go ahead and proceed to a clerk so that you can sign your documents.
I'm sorry. All right, ma'am.
You're moving around, so you're not going to
and,
hear me. You're moving around and you're talking, so you're not going to hear me. So stop for a moment. Stop. Just stop and listen for just a moment.
Yes.
Okay. So wait about 5 minutes and then go to a clerk and they will have your papers for you.
All right. Thank you. And
everything will be written down so that you can keep track of it.
all right. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
God bless.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. So give the clerk about 5 minutes because I need to get the papers ready in the court and they'll bring them out soon.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, on the Jaylene Jones case, if the court could get an update, that would be great.
We're going to continue to final pretrial, Your Honor.
Okay. The final pretrial on this matter, single offense of disorderly conduct, and it is dated from May 8th. The final pretrial date is August 23rd at 1 o'clock. We'll all be here then, okay?
What day is that?
That would be August 23rd at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the day. Give me 1 second.
It's a Wednesday. It's always a Wednesday.
Okay.
See,
Yeah, that's
we'll
fine.
see you then.
And when I get that in the email?
You already
then-
did.
Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, I am moving you forward with Terry Steele. Terry Steele, can you unmute so that we can discuss with you? And Mr. Matson,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, hang on just a moment. I'll move you over to that meeting. Mr. Matson, I have one more thing that I want to just take up with you real quickly. Cindy Southern is here today. She was supposed to be scheduled for today. There is a note in the file. It's not on my docket. I don't know how that happened. She'll be your next person. And I just wanted you to be alerted. I know that that was something that got said in the last meeting, that this was a check-in date, but it didn't make it onto the calendar for whatever reason. But she's here and we'll double check it. I'll round about on what happened with that. Don't worry about that. But I wanted you to know that she'll be next.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Okay. Let's see where I am. Yeah, hang on just a moment, folks. Okay, should be good to go. Okay, thanks everybody. I'm moving forward. Kylie White, can you unmute and tell me how you're doing?
I'm doing fine, Your Honor.
Okay, so there's a speeding charge and it has fines and costs of $284. And
Yes.
I did receive a plea of guilty and a request for teen court. I'm willing to look at teen court. I will tell you, this is an unusual case because you're going 100 miles an hour in a 65.
Yes, Your Honor. I wasn't watching my speed.
What kind of vehicle are you driving?
I was driving an Expedition. It's a bigger vehicle.
Okay, with teen court, there is a $20 fee. I need to have that fee in cash. Can it be paid today?
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then you're going to take a driving safety course. It will be due quickly by August 14th. And there's also an essay. It's 5 pages. Due the same date. We will give you the topic in your paperwork. It's just related to the type of offense. Essay. Can you agree to these? Can you agree to these conditions?
You have a learning disability.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your mom was talking, maybe, or who?
Yeah,
Someone
that
was.
was mine.
Go ahead and give
Sorry.
me.
I don't know about the essay. I mean, it may not be 100 because he has a learning disability.
Tell me about it.
So he has a dyslexia and he gets like 504 in school. We have ARD meetings.
Okay, I will change the requirement to 3 pages. In the ARD meetings, in accommodations, does he have, can he typewrite? The
Kyle, are you able to typewrite? No, a little bit. He has a reading impairment.
he passed the driving test.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that. He can do the essay, but just know that, I don't know what qualifications you're looking for in that.
Well, what I'm getting from you is we can't do it, and I'm asking for specifics. And you're saying like, he can't read, he can't write, he can't.
No, he can read.
No, listen. I'm asking, it's real specific what I'm asking.
Yes,
What are
ma'am.
what are the accommodations that get him through school?
He just has a favor where they accommodate his test where they're not.
How do they accommodate him?
How would they read it to him?
Well, this is him telling me something.
Yes, ma'am. He can do the essay for you. You're just gonna cut it down for him. I understand that and I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, 100, I can't just say like,
Yes,
oh,
ma'am. No. I understand that
if you crash at 100, you kill yourself and everybody you touch. So
Yes, ma'am. I completely understand that.
And the consequence is either that it goes on your record and you pay $285, which I think might make an impression on you, or we have him have a consequence so that he doesn't get killed next time.
Yes, ma'am. I completely understand that. Yes,
Because
ma'am.
he's 17 years old and he is in the #1 bracket for death and dismemberment in America right now on the roadway. Not just Temple, not just Texas, America.
Yes, ma'am. I do understand that. Yes,
that has
ma'am.
to have my attention. And as a parent, I think if you really fall back on it and think through it, it has your attention too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Whenever he told me that, I got onto him, and he has consequences in home, and I understand. Yeah, he doesn't have a car at this moment. He's the groundation. That's
How
why
did he
he's
get
sitting
this
here.
car?
That's my car.
How did he get it?
But he was going to a friend's house.
Someone handed him the keys or he stole
Yes.
it? What?
No, I gave him the keys. He asked if we could go, but I didn't know that he was going to do that to get on the highway. I had no clue for that.
Right.
And he does have consequences, and I understand what you're coming from. I'm not saying that he's in the right. He's very in the wrong. And for what he did, he does deserve to have to do what you asked for him to do. And I appreciate you for you not to have put that on his record. He will do whatever you ask for him to do.
Okay. You can't write it for him. I know you won't.
No, I'm not.
But you can proofread it and make sure it is what it needs to be.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And you can communicate with me if there are any additional issues.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
The online course, you can take an online course or you can take a course around town. It'll be very similar to the coursework he's already taken to get his license. We need to make a bigger impact in his thinking.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will make sure. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
When can he come by to sign? And you're welcome to come with him, but he's 17.
He can come. He can come out. Well, it'll be after I get off work because I have to get the money.
What time?
It'll be before 4 o'clock.
Okay, 4 is fine, or before.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll grant it.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Go to
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Did it pay $20 today?
Yes, $20 come to the clerk. Okay, moving forward. Mr. Guthrie, can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hi.
You ready for me, Your Honor?
Yes, it's Judge Person. I did receive a request to set up a payment plan. And I can allow a payment plan, but you proposed a payment plan on your form of not paying. You proposed a payment plan of $0. So what is your proposal?
Well, do I qualify for a dismissal?
No, you don't.
No,
No.
no. Okay. Well, I was seeing what you could do for me. But,
Well, I've asked you a question that you have yet to answer, which is a pattern. You've had a pattern like that. Have to call it
I'm
like I
sorry.
see it. Listen, I
I'm
have
sorry. I'm not understanding you. What was the question, Your Honor?
how much are you going to pay a month? Giving you an option, or I'll make an order.
I don't, how much is the fine? I mean, how much?
Right now, you owe the court almost, right now, listen, if you'll stop talking and moving around, you'll hear me. Right now, your fines and costs are almost $7,000. Okay, if you want a payment plan, you can come to the clerk's desk and you can sign for a payment plan of $100 a month.
Or you're not going to try to reduction on my fine?
At this time, I'm not going to do that. I can entertain that maybe later after you've made some payments and done something. These cases have been pending for over a year or almost a year in some cases. And, you know, I haven't had any cooperation from you so far. So I can order $100 a month. That gets you out of a warrant situation. You would need to come and sign for that and make $100 down payment. And if you make 6 payments in a row on time, I'll consider whether I can do a reduction.
Okay. Sounds reasonable.
You'll have to write me a letter at that time, and I can then review it.
After I make payments, is that what you said?
6 months of payments on time, I will consider it.
Okay.
Okay. When can you be at the clerk's desk to set this up?
I guess I try to set it up today.
Yeah, what time is what I asked?
Oh, what time? Can we set it up? I can get ready and come up there.
Be here by noon.
Oh yes, I will.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yes, you can hang up.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Mr. Matson, let's talk about Terry Steele's case.
Your Honor, we're going to go ahead and continue to final pretrial, but there is a chance that that case will be resolved before then.
Okay. Mr. Steele, I think that you have heard me say this before, but I'll say it again. The final pretrial date is August 23rd at 2 o'clock.
Okay.
That also encompasses, by the way, a discovery hearing. And if the case is resolved before that time, what will happen is it'll be taken off the docket. You can know if it's been taken off the docket by calling the clerk. If the morning of, if the case is still pending, you'll need to be here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see you unless it's resolved on the 23rd.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
And you too. Mr. Matson, I misspoke, and I'm sorry, I apologize to everyone involved, but actually Barry Johnston was the next person, and then Miss Southern. Okay. Mr. Johnson, can you unmute, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me move you over to that meeting. Miss Southern, I apologize, but he had logged in earlier. I do try to keep a semblance. Let's see, Mr. Johnson. It says you're moving. There we go. But we will be with you, not forgotten. Yes. Can I get like a screenshot from the city? Her name is Cindy Fuller Southern. The last name is Southern. Just kind of like what we do. Yes. Motion. Thank you. Yeah, it's an oversight, and I don't know the answer for whether you always, when oversights happen, you always go like, how many else are there? You know, and I don't know how we would find it other than checking notes. Checking notes. She's set for a jury trial coming up. Yeah. So I guess we would catch it there. Yeah. Did we hear back from Zena on Mr. Conlon? Conklin? Was it an email that just said he said to call him? Right. They should have told him that he needs to log in. We don't know. Can maybe print that and just take it over to her and ask her to tell me if she's let him know to log in. Right, and no reply. What's the number that he gave? 62682 702 Okay. I'm just gonna let the prosecutor know. See if he wants to solve the confusion. Has the guy submitted insurance? Maybe. This is the kind of thing I like to take to the city council meetings. This is what we work with. Then they don't show up. Great. Okay, Mr. Johnston. Okay, on the Johnston case. Mr. Johnston, if you'll unmute, great.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, where are we with this matter?
Your Honor, Mr. Johnston has indicated he would like to reset so he can speak with an attorney.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Johnston, normally I reschedule for a couple of weeks, but I'll tell you, let's see, my next available there would be July 27th. Let me just double check that date, and then I'll check that date in with you. Right, we would normally reschedule for July 27th. And will that work for you?
Yes, John. I'm doing the best I can to get hold of them.
Okay, do you have an attorney that you normally talk to?
No, I do not, Your Honor. I've been, anyway, somebody informed me of a gentleman that I could talk to.
That's perfectly fine. I'm just trying to make a realistic order here.
Yes, sir.
Maybe the answer is to look at August 3rd.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll send that reset to you. Okay. If you hire an attorney, we'll send it to that person if we receive a letter of representation. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, no problem. We'll do that. Our final pretrial on this matter is set for August 9th at 1 o'clock. So I'm not changing that in-person meeting yet. We'll just kind of see where we are when we check in on the 3rd.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you both. And Mr. Johnston, unless you have further questions of the court, you're good to go.
I did not receive something from the municipal courts from Temple through an email. So I just wanted to make sure, and I can go to somebody else if you'd like, to make sure that email is correct.
What did you receive?
It was about this. Now, I had the paperwork in hand, but they were going to email me something also, the same stuff, actually. And I never received that. So I was wondering if my email was correct.
Let me check and see. How were you able to then log into the meeting?
DARRY.Johnston
Okay.
at hotmail.com.
Hang on one second. Let me double check. Barry.Johnston@hotmail.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's the email we use.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
I missed it, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'm not
It
sure how
happened.
there's not a way to get into the meeting without that link. So I don't, it
I
seems
hear
to
you.
me, that you're receiving it.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You bet.
Mr. Matson, Cindy Southern is ready to visit with you, and I have her scheduled for trial next month. She was just in, that's how I remembered her. She should be moving. She's her connection may not be the best.
If you could just, Judge, remind me what it is she's here for.
So there's a note that you and she were checking in today on Zoom prior to trial. And a link got sent to her.
I guess I'll just speak with her and see
It's
what.
from the last pretrial you had with her. So
Mhm.
my assumption would be you would have that note, but I wouldn't necessarily.
Oh, you know what? I think I do remember now what that was about. Okay.
Okay. But when it was happening. That sound is a reason. Not you. I do not have it. And yet everyone's still here. I do not know. Oh boy. Say that again. Of August? Oh, you know what? Let me look and see. Thought I wrote down. Huh. Let me check in with Ryan about that because he gave us some. Am I somewhere? I don't have it. Huh? Let's see. It says we have 4. You said it. Yes. I don't know the answer. I don't see any problem. Oh, okay. No problem. Hey, I follow the user sword occasionally as well. Nobody's perfect. That's why we check each other here. These are all pre-trial motions. And let me move the Southern back over. Before you leave today, Mr. Matson, I have a couple of quick questions. But let's talk about Cindy Southern's situation first. Where are we with this matter?
Your Honor, I did do a little bit more digging on this ticket, and I can't contact the alleged victim, so I'm gonna have to dismiss at this time. I don't really have a case to pursue.
Okay. I'm making a note of that, and then I will say, I will sign your motion when you submit it. And Ms. Southern, that will erase the trial date. We will send a copy to your email once I've signed it. Do you have any further questions? Sorry, you were unmuted and now you're muted again. I don't know what happened.
I'm so sorry. I don't know. It's been working perfect the whole time I was waiting. And then when I get to talk to you guys, it keeps messing up. But I was telling him that I did want to let you guys know that the police chief has opened an internal affairs investigation against the young officer who came out and arrested me. But it's neither here nor there now, I understand. And so thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, that just won't be related to this case, you know.
Right.
But I understand what you're telling me. This case is not being dismissed for that purpose. It's being dismissed due to the lack of availability of the alleged. And under those circumstances, it's very difficult for a prosecutor to move a case forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I will sign that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
It's not a comment though on that internal investigation. We'd never get involved in that.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I understand. I just wanted to let y'all know.
They need to do what they do independent of the judiciary.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for your time today. You were very patient. I appreciate it. And we will send that dismissal.
Thank you.
That order to you, okay?
Okay, all right. God bless you, and you have a blessed week, and thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, I don't know, but if you could take a look on, you know, I don't know, I haven't looked, but there's a couple of people that didn't show up. That one is Hui Hayun, and you know, it sounds like he is trying to say, well, I have renewed. I don't know if he submitted anything.
He did submit some stuff, Your Honor. I made a note that I need to take a look at what he's submitted to verify it.
Yeah, I mean, if you send a dismissal, of course I sign it. If you don't, he's just do it pre-trial.
Okay.
But I'm trying to sort. There were a few people who said things like that, like almost like they thought they'd taken care of it. And while I do think the burden and onus is on that person to follow up, I also don't want to pursue it that way if ultimately you're reaching a conclusion that it doesn't require that. So if you'll check on that,
sure.
That's good. And I had another one like that that's a little different. It's more like a confusion point. The guy is Timothy Conklin, and he has a single case of no insurance, and he says in here he didn't have insurance, I think, in his message or to the court. I don't know. I've read like 7 of these in a row, so maybe that's not the one. No, he didn't say anything to me about that in his written form. I have not spoken with him. He sent an email right when court started that said, I have court today on Zoom, and here's my phone number. And he's in another location. We replied to the clerk to please let him know to log in, because I don't usually call people. It's kind of their burden to get in. And they have a final setting, so I don't really sweat all stuff. But it's a simple one of no insurance. I didn't look to see if he had insurance and we couldn't dismiss it for some reason. I don't know anything about it. The phone number is the number in the file. So I haven't heard back from anybody about that. It's been a couple hours. So I don't know if you want to call that guy or if you want to look in the file and then hold on till the August date. But I wanted to alert you to a possibility of cross communication with the clerk's office.
Okay, I just made a note to take a look at his file as well.
That would be appreciated. Everyone else is just like, they didn't show up. You know, these were a little more like, yeah, but I don't know what's going on with all that.
I think the only other one that I noted, Herman Jimerson had been at final pretrial, not yesterday, but the last one we had.
Right.
And he had Officer Parker actually verified his registration. I thought I had signed a dismissal that later that day, but I guess I'd never sent it. So
Okay.
I will be filing one of those for Mr. Jimerson.
Okay. Can we make a that would be great. You know, the peeling things off is part of what it's
Mhm.
sausage making. So that's never fun. But